guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep video. Here's everything that we are going to meal prep today. So let's go ahead and get into the video. We're going to start with the Big Mac salad. So first for the meat, we need some ground beef. I'm using the 96% lean ground beef. And then you need 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire, however you say that, onion powder, garlic powder, never measure these out. And then this is what happens when it gets too close to the grill. And I like to use a Montreal steak seasoning, but that's optional. I don't have a lot left, so I'll probably use all of that. So this will be for the meat layer. For the dressing, you're gonna need a half a cup of mayo, but I like to use plain non-fat Greek yogurt. I'm just gonna use this entire container. 3 tablespoons of dill relish, 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard, a tablespoon of ketchup, I'm using sugar-free ketchup, a teaspoon of vinegar, and then a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And this will make the dressing for all 4 of the salads. Then for the salad itself, you're going to need some sort of lettuce. I'm using romaine. You'll need some cheese. I'm using the Velveeta shreds, some tomatoes. I'm using cherry tomatoes. I'll just cut into 4s. You need some pickle chips or whatever kind of pickles you want to use, and then I like to add onion to mine, so I like to add the red onion. You'll notice in the recipes for Big Mac salads it says to leave the ground beef kind of chunky, and that's just to, you know, supposed to be like a hamburger salad. So I think that's the reason why. I don't do mine too chunky, but I don't do it as fine as I do like taco meat and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cook this up. I usually cook it about halfway through before I start adding in the spices, and that's just so the rest of the way the spices are cooked into the meat, and that really helps get the spices really activated and fragrant and just really embedded into your meat. So we're going to cook this about halfway, then we'll add the spices in. Okay, we're going to add in our Worcestershire, which is about a teaspoon. Garlic powder, probably about a teaspoon or so. Onion powder. Again, just see the recipe I linked down below for measurements. I just don't measure these things. And then again, my optional Monterey seasoning, which I normally would use more than that, but that's all I have. And we're just going to kind of cook this up and let it simmer while I do the rest of the salad ingredients. We're going to make the dressing now. So like I said, I'm using plain non-fat Greek yogurt, but if you don't like that, you can use light mayo, whatever kind of mayo you like. I personally think with all these ingredients that you really can't taste the Greek yogurt. Now, I think I'm going to maybe leave probably do half the amount of vinegar because the yogurt is a little bit tangy, so I'm afraid of it being too tangy, if you know what I mean. So I think I'm just going to do that. I can't remember, it's been so long since I've made this, I can't remember what I did previously. So I got 3 tablespoons of relish, a tablespoon of sugar-free ketchup or whatever kind of ketchup you want to use, teaspoon of yellow mustard, and I do feel like yellow mustard works best in this recipe versus like Dijon or spicy brown, which is actually my favorite, is spicy brown mustard, but I do feel like yellow mustard is the best in this. And then, like I said, we're just going to do a half a teaspoon of the vinegar instead of a teaspoon, and then I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. I do prefer smoked paprika to regular, but I think you could probably use regular in this recipe. I'm going to get my little whisk out, and we're going to whisk this all together. And then this is 0 points because I'm using 1 tablespoon of that sugar-free ketchup, and it's going to be divided by 4 servings. So yes, this is a 0 point dressing for that salad. That's the difference between the Greek yogurt and the mayo. The mayo, if you're just using a half a cup, I'm not sure how much light mayo would be in this, so you may do half and half. If you're not quite sure how you like the Greek yogurt, you may do half mayo and half Greek yogurt, and that would probably be okay as well. I am going to weigh out my meat in grams to see how much per serving. So I'll do this and I'll divide it by 4 since there are 4 servings in this, and I don't have to weigh the bowl since I zeroed out after I put the bowl on there. I get questions about that a lot. So we had 321 grams. I'm going to divide that by 4. So it's 80.25. So we're just going to weigh this out, and we'll just do 80. I'm gonna do 2 of them for lunch this week, maybe for dinner, and I'm gonna eat one right now. I have not had anything to eat. It's about 2 o'clock, so this is gonna be my breakfast and my lunch. So I'm doing a double serving of this, and I'm just gonna do a double salad since I haven't had anything to eat today. Next up, we're gonna weigh out our cheese. So I'm using the Velveeta shreds, and this is 28 grams as a serving. Next up, we're going to add our pickles, which I'm not going to weigh because they are 0 points. And use as many or as little as you like. I happen to love pickles, so I'm going to be pretty generous with mine. I'm going to add on our tomatoes, and I just use the cherry tomatoes and I just cut them into fourths. And then a little bit of purple onion, red onion, whatever you want to call it. Our little dressing cups there. So I will put the points here on the screen. Now keep in mind, these are the points with all the ingredients I am using. If you use any other different brand, different kind, that's going to make your points different. So definitely plug them in your tracker with what the ingredients are that you are using. If you use the exact same ingredients that I am with the exact same quantities, then you will have the same points that I do. But just keep that in mind. One of the questions I get is, do I heat this up before I eat it? I personally do not. I don't mind the meat cold, but what you could do is take the meat out, heat it up separately, then just toss it all together. But I think most people I know eat it cold. So really it's just a preference, whatever you'd like to do, but this is a really great meal prep. I'll use this for, like I said, either lunch or for dinner, but it's ready to go, grab and go. And it is really filling and a pretty high protein with that ground beef. Next up, we're gonna make some beef and bean taco meat, and I'll use this for tacos, for salads, and whatnot, for lunches and for dinners throughout the week. This came from the Skinny-ish dish. I will have her original recipe linked down below. So all you need is a pound of whatever kind of ground beef you want. Again, I'm using the 96% lean. You need a can of either black beans or pinto beans, drained and rinsed, a 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, some taco seasoning, and I'm using some salt, pepper, garlic blend. I make my own taco seasoning. You can check out my DIY spice video to see how I make that. Also on this recipe, she does have her taco seasoning recipe, or you can just use a package of taco seasoning. We're gonna go ahead and start cooking up the taco meat. As soon as this is about halfway done, just like with the Big Mac one, I will add in the taco seasoning and cook that for a little bit until the meat's all the way cooked through before we add in the rest of the ingredients. I did forget to mention we're gonna add in a half a cup of water as well. Okay, I just added in the taco seasoning, which if you're making your own taco seasoning, you're going to use about 2 tablespoons is what you will use, or a whole packet. So I'm just going to kind of mix that around. The meat's not quite cooked. And then we'll add in the water and tomato juice, or tomato sauce, sorry. Okay, we're adding in the 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. And a half a cup of water. Now I'm going to add in the black beans that I drained and rinsed. And then we're just going to let this simmer until most of the liquid is evaporated and all the flavors are all together. And then we'll come back on and I'll tell you all the different uses that you can use this for. Taco meat is all done, and now this is so versatile, you guys. You can use it to make tacos. You could do taco stuffed baked potatoes. You could do burritos. You could do nachos. You could do taco salads. I love to personally use this on my taco salads and on my tacos. This is only 1 point for 2 tablespoons. I love this stuff, but there's so much you can do with this taco meat. So this is why I love to have this beginning of the week, and I usually eat it within the first 3 to 4 days that I prep it. So good and so much flavor. I will have the points here on the screen again with the ingredients that I used. And so like I said, keep in mind that that could change based on your ingredients. So we're going to make some peanut butter banana Kodiak cake muffins. I need to use up some bananas. This is a great recipe for that. So I have 2 bananas here, ripe, that we're going to mash up. I'm using the cinnamon oat power cakes. I just like the taste, how it tastes in this recipe. I'm going to use 1 2/3 cup of this. We need 1 cup of almond milk, 1/3 cup of the powdered peanut butter. I have the Simple Truth organic brand. You can also use PB2 or you can use regular peanut butter. And then some sort of sweetener. I'm using the pure granulated sweetener, which is a stevia erythritol blend. Oh, one other thing I don't have out is vanilla. You need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Whenever I use bananas in muffin recipes, I just take a fork and I just smash them until they are just really pretty much mush is what you want to do. These aren't quite as ripe as what I thought they were going to be based on the outside, but that's okay. We'll get these all mashed up. I already added the vanilla in there. We're just going to add in the Kodiak cakes, the peanut butter powder. Just add in more of the Kodiak cakes because it's 1 2/3. And then we have our sweetener over here and our milk. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this up and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, you can see our batter's all mixed up, perfect consistency. So now I have a silicone muffin tin here. I'd still spray them a little bit with cooking spray because usually they will stick depending on what you're making. So I'm going to go ahead and spray them down a little bit. And also, in the meantime, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start filling these up. I'm somewhere in the middle. Try to find. Okay, so these are going to go into a 350 degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes depending on your oven. I always like to take that time to clean up my kitchen, so I always do any baked goods at the end of my meal prep. That way I have time to clean up my kitchen. But I do have one more thing to show you, and that's going to be an egg salad. So I will show you that as soon as these come out of the oven. Then we'll move on to my egg salad recipe. So my muffins ended up taking 25 minutes. I don't know why they took so much longer. Last time I made them, I think it was 18 minutes. So I think it just depends on the weather, the humidity, and all that stuff. But you can see they are really good sized muffins. So I will put on the screen here the points for the ingredients I used. As always, I like to do a little disclaimer. If you go to put it in your tracker and you come up with different points, it could be because of the different ingredient brand that you are using. But mine, I will put here on the screen with the exact ones that I use. My plan is to have one of these, 1 or 2, depending on how many points I have for the day, 1 or 2 of them with some yogurt. We get an extra little pack of protein in here from that protein powder and from the Kodiak cake. So these are some nice little peanut butter banana protein muffins that I can pair with some yogurt and we make a nice yummy breakfast. Cook my eggs for my egg salad and for hard-boiled eggs. So I'm going to do some hard-boiled eggs just to snack on and then some egg salad. So what I do is I cook them in my pressure cooker. I put about a cup of water. I steam them for 5 minutes on this, so I just choose one of my steam modes on here. For 5 minutes, I let it natural release for 5 minutes, and then I put them in an ice bath for at least 5 minutes. It's going to be high pressure, so you want to make sure your thing here is closed up. And then I typically just choose the steamed vegetable, and then I have to adjust the cook time to 5 minutes, and then just press start and let it go. Once it beeps, I wait for the time to show 5 minutes, that's natural release for 5 minutes, and then I'll just stick them in an ice bath. And then they will be just perfect and easy to peel. Let me show you just how easy these eggs peel. They've been actually in here for about 30 minutes.
but life is one big riddle of the future and what's been. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why.
Okay, so you saw how easy that was. Perfect eggs. So I have 6 of them here, 4 of them here that I can have for hard-boiled eggs later in the week. And I just keep the shells on them. Just feel like they stay fresher. Now, I saw on Instagram somebody, and I wish I could remember who it was, saw somebody on there said they use a French onion dip. They use a different kind. I think they use the Dean's one. This one's from Boar's Head. I love all the Boar's Head dips and hummuses. They have been so good. They're a little bit more expensive, but I'll tell you, there's something about them that is just so good. So this is the French onion Greek yogurt dip from Boar's Head. Pretty sure for 2 tablespoons it was only 1 point. It's really low points. So anyway, in this Instagram reel that I watched, she uses this in place of mayonnaise. She says she doesn't like mayonnaise, so she uses this, and I thought, oh, that's such a great idea, because it just puts so much flavor in there. And sometimes I put like some sort of like onion, like the, what is that called? No, the Italian or ranch like seasoning mixes. Sometimes I use those in my egg salad, so I thought this would be perfect. So I'm going to start with 3 tablespoons, see how it goes, but I have a feeling I'm going to need more since I used 6 eggs. To that, I'm going to add just a little bit of dill relish. I like to put that in my egg salad. I have some green onion, and then also over there I have some red onion that I chopped up. I'm going to add some chives, some dill, and then salt and pepper. So we're going to add all that in there, and then like I said, I'm going to start with 3 tablespoons, and we'll just do a tablespoon after that until it's the right consistency. I hadn't opened this yet, so I wanted to taste it just to be, I thought, well, you know, I don't want to ruin my egg salad if this isn't good. This stuff is really good. So it's a little bit watery to begin with, which is typical of like yogurt dips. So we're just going to do, and I probably should weigh this out, but we're just going to do it this way. Since it is such low points, we'll just do it this way. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need more than 3 tablespoons for this. So I'm going to go ahead and just put 4 in, and then we'll mix it up. Okay, so remember I'm using 6 eggs, and this is 4 tablespoons. So if you're just making an individual serving, like say maybe 2 or 3 eggs, and you're just making some egg salad, then I think 2 would be enough. So 4 I think is perfect. I do like my egg salad just a little bit on the runnier side, because the way I eat mine is I'll put it like on a wrap or an English muffin, or sometimes I put it on a lettuce wrap. I plan on using crackers with this. I have my Wasa crackers that I really like, the light sourdough Wasa crackers. So I'll be using those to eat this for lunch. And what I usually do is I'll probably have this for 2, I'll probably half this. So I'll probably do like 3 eggs worth of this on crackers. So, and that'll be usually quite enough. And then sometimes I'll pair it with a salad or something like that. But we're gonna go ahead and add in just a little bit of onion. I almost feel like, do I even need the dill relish? Because I feel like with that, yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit, because I do really like relish in my, this is like the runniest dill relish. So this is the Walmart brand, and this is like the runniest one that I have ever purchased. We're gonna go ahead and put this purple red onion, whatever you call it. We'll add in some dill. This just adds a little bit of freshness to it. Add some chives. I get these from Thrive Market. And we'll just do a little bit of salt and pepper, of course. Okay, just gonna stir this up. And then you just want to taste it just to make sure you don't need to add any more salt and pepper or any other seasoning, but this looks pretty dang good. There's my egg salad. So these are the crackers. I actually have some that are open that are the light rye kind, but I also like the sourdough ones, or I could have them in a wrap with this Carb Balance tortillas, but this is what I plan on having for lunch one day this week, and I tasted it. Tastes really good, so highly recommend that little hack of using French onion dip. I think you could use like tzatziki. You could use probably any kind of dip that there is out there, maybe some ranch dip or veggie dip. I think any of that would work really well, and I think it's a nice little hack. Okay guys, so this is everything we meal prep today. I will have everything linked down in the description box, recipes, but do keep in mind that I do change up the recipes. So how I showed you and the amounts I told you, that is how I made it. Again, all the points on the screen are with the ingredients that I chose, but I feel like I have some really good lunches and dinners here, plus a nice little snack and breakfast, and then I have some hard-boiled eggs for a snack as well. So we are set up for a fabulous week on Weight Watchers, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.